Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another Sleight of Hand review. And today, we're doing a 10 subscriber special. Yes, I hit 10 subscribers. Hooray! Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully, you'll find things that you enjoy as you watch these videos. So at 20 subscribers, I'll be launching NFTs. You know, right? What? No? Nobody likes that? I'm just kidding. No NFTs. But what I will do is I will continue to review some oddball things, some new things, and today is a perfect example of that. I'm going to consider this, I thought of a few names like Grab Bag or Flotsam and Jetsam, and things that meant like a various and assorted mix of things that I pick up here and there. Nothing necessarily new. I figure I'm going to go with various and sundry. It's basically means things that just kind of, you know, various and sundry. So, this is a box, this is a bag, and these two figures I picked up at a local toy store. So without further ado, let's get these guys out and you'll see what's actually in there, and we'll go from there. Alright, and here's everyone all together. So, we have quite a motley crew here. This guy is Transformers Robots in Disguise RID 2015 Fracture, and he turns into a kind of Cybertronian motorcycle. He only has his one accessory, which looks like a exhaust pipe when it's folded up. RID 2015 came after Transformers Prime, like directly after it. It even they kind of meshed together, in fact. Pretty good show. Not as good as Transformers Prime. I did watch it all the way through. One thing I liked about RID 2015 was the Decepticon design, or the enemy design, I guess you could say. They were very inventive with their robot modes and their alt modes. They really took a kind of bestial or animalistic take on some of them, including the main villain. Very creative. It was nice to see something different than vehicles, but we're still clearly Cybertronian in nature. So we'll get him transformed in a bit. You'll see a little bit more of him, but the other nice one is a G1 Trailbreaker, and this is quite a nice one. I don't believe this is a reissue. I believe this was sold to me as being an original. Very good shape. Whoever had this really took care of him, and packed him extremely well. The guy really definitely cared for his Transformers. So there's more bubble wrap in that package than anything I've seen recently. He's complete. He doesn't have a spec card or his instruction manual, but I could probably pick those up. He's just in really good shape, and I got a really good price on him. So this guy, he might look familiar. I don't have his New Age. I thought I had grabbed him, but I didn't. I'll get him for the size comparisons, but this is what New Age's Bodhi was based off of. Hardtop, but the movie version. So he has the Sector 7 badging on him and on his Cyber Planet key. He did come from the Energon line. I believe it was Energon. And this is his key that activates just a feature on his weapon. But yeah, he's just a little buggy here, and he has a certain deco that New Age tapped into for their one of their Beachcomber repaints and retoolings, very slight retooling for his chest. And here we have a Snowcat. And I saw this guy. This was an impulse. So is this guy. I had been looking for him ever since I did the Bodhi review. I said, I gotta find the figure he's based off of, basically. And I almost bought him on eBay, but I held off. Then I saw him in a store and I said, oh, I'm going to get him. And then I started looking at their other loose figures and I found this Snowcat. And he's in great shape. I believe he's complete. He has his missiles. He has this little thing which apparently people can lose because it comes off. He has his wiper. So this is also an Energon Snowcat. Sorry, that was my phone. If anyone can remember what that tune was from, leave a comment below. But yeah, this guy's in great shape too. So, you know, just a few oddball figures I picked up in my travels in the last few weeks. But let's get them transformed, and we'll do a few size comparisons. Just quickly go through them. I'm not going to do them as much of a review as I would on a new piece, you know, something new. Just because you're not going out and necessarily seeing those things on the shelf everywhere and saying, should I buy this? Shouldn't I buy this? If you're looking for these, you're probably already deep into collecting, and you're basically back collecting or getting a back catalog of things that you missed and you like. So I won't be so critical, but I will point out where anything is really nice. If anything's really garbage, you know, I'll call that out as well. But yeah, so let's take a look at each of these guys transformed. All right, I'll save Trailbreaker to be done in a little bit. I'm running low on battery power. I should have charged this first. But let's do these guys real quick. So here's Hardtop. As you can see, this is where they got the deco for him, with that skull on the front and his coloration and that head of his. Pretty nice. Yeah, a basic figure. There's not anything great with articulation. His arms will go out to the side, they'll spin around. Most of the way, they get kind of caught up a bit. He has pretty deep elbows. Waist twist. And his legs go all over the map. Oh yeah, easy. Bit of a thigh twist there at the top of this hip, the top of the leg, and a pretty deep bend. He is vehicle kibble, coming out all over the place, of course. He has actually an ab crunch. That's transformation, but it is technically an ab crunch. And his gun... moment of truth here. Oh boy. You know, they sell a pill for that. But yeah, it's just a redecoed Cyberplanet key and a redecoed gun that becomes a slightly bigger gun. Great. All right. And for Fracture, head twist. Nothing else that's really happening up there. You can't get really up or down. His arms go out a good way. The shoulder pad moves. That's part of his design, as he has those big shoulders. 90 degrees of bend. His hands go in and out, but they're more for transformation, and they're really fiddly. They'll kind of pop off, but at least they pop off and they don't break. There's no waist twist. He does have a thigh cut. A little bit of movement on the ball peg up there, but a thigh cut for the swivel there. He can go all the way out to the side. And he can kick a good bit forward. And a good bit back. All the way, really. A really deep bend due to a hollowness on the back of his leg. And his feet can go forward, backward, but there is no ankle pivot. You're stuck with what you got there. So, with toys like Snowcat from that era, it really was something else. You have virtually no hollow spots on this figure. I mean, the fists even have a little slider to retract into the arm for transformation. They don't fold away and then leave a gap when the hand is out. And there's a bit of hollowness on the inside of the leg there, but it's not the end of the world. Everything else is so solid. And yeah, you can say, well, they're not really well articulated. They don't, you know, they don't have ankle rockers. Their feet really don't do anything. They're really chunky and blocky, but I mean, look at this detail in here. You have a cockpit with seats. You have this frosted glass that has an area that the wiper wouldn't cover. I mean, you have this wiper in the front that's just there and able to be moved around. It's just some weird, not weird. It's some extraneous detail that they really didn't have to put in here, but they did. That's why I like collecting some of the older stuff. It may not be the best articulated type of a figure, but they have a charm to them. That's undeniable. I mean, obviously. And here we have Trailbreaker. And I mean, I am a G1er in terms of I grew up with G1. I'm not into being slavishly G1. I think that, you know, we're allowed to move beyond Generation 1. But I do like it. I do think it sets the groundwork for the entire franchise. You know, you do have to remember your roots. So, Trailbreaker here is a Toyota, I believe a Toyota Hilux 4x4 with a cap on the back. And he has a host of accessories. He has fists. I believe these launch. I'll find out. I didn't own a Trailbreaker when I was a wee lad. I actually recently, in a move out from, you know, when my folks did a move, I found some of my old Transformers, but clearly not all of them. I don't know what happened to probably half of them. I found pieces of a Metroplex, like accessories, not broken pieces. I did find a broken, like a broken off or removed arm of an Optimus Prime, but I clearly remember having a Metroplex. I remember having toys. I found the trailer part of a Rodimus Prime with rubber wheels, not the plastic wheels. I had these things, but something happened. After I moved out, I think a box of some of my old toys was ceremoniously jettisoned from there, and yeah, some things were lost. But regardless of that, let's take a quick look at, since G1 gave us stat cards and gave us bios for these characters, I'm gonna read a dramatic reading of Trailbreaker's bio here. And he is a defensive strategist, that's his function. And his motto is, an Autobot's as good as the fuel in his tank. Now, this says, Trailbreaker makes light of any situation no matter how serious, so he tries to keep a light outlook on life. That's good. Practical joker and cheerleader, but considers himself a liability to Autobots since he consumes the most fuel. So he cheers them on. He likes to have fun with them, like behind the scenes, as playing practical jokes, but he sees himself not as a good frontline fighter, I guess, because he consumes the most fuel, lacks self-esteem, and often asks to be left behind. Projects nearly impenetrable, invisible force field. That would be his force field generator here. Can jam radio transmissions. Very slow. So not a high acceleration, not a high top speed, I guess. Often mopes about his handicaps, but his bravery and defensive prowess is unquestioned. So he kind of feels like he's a liability to the team, but he's actually more capable than he gives himself credit for. And there you go. That's Trailbreaker. I love the design. If I could own one of these trucks, I would. They're very expensive. They're not something you can just pick up. But here is the Earthrise version of Trailbreaker. As you can see, they kept true to the decals or decals on the side here. Very much a part of his identity as a bot. Now, they did not give him the force field generator in terms of a loose piece. It's actually integrated into his backpack, but they did give him this. There's an accessory pack with, I believe it's a Centurion. He's like gray and silver. And it came with like a tiny sound wave, and it came with all kinds of things. And it came with a satellite dish for you to put on the top here instead of his gun. But yeah, that's Trailbreaker. And we'll give him a quick size comparison with Rodimus Prime. Now, this is not the one that I have the trailer for with rubber wheels. This has plastic wheels. I picked this up because I really have... he's still not complete. Obviously, he's missing his fin. I got this one for basically free when I was buying another G1 figure, and he just threw it in. So yeah, I'm still on the lookout to try to complete my original Rodimus Prime, but this is a good stand-in for now. And in the Generations line earlier on, they did a mold of a Trailbreaker, a hoist. I have those, but I don't have them unboxed. I actually have the Takara version of them, and they're not open yet. But this is the same mold, but done up as a lift ticket. Kind of an original, actual Diaclone coloration of a Trailbreaker. I don't know what he originally was in Diaclone, what his name was, but this is a BotCon or Collectors Club exclusive. I think he came in a 2-pack. This is that guy, so. Here we have Trailbreaker in his robot mode. And boy, this was fun. Like I said, I didn't own an original Trailbreaker, and it was just neat seeing, doing a little quick research and seeing how he's a pre-rub sign. Apparently they put the rub sign on top of this cockpit here. That top actually opens. I think he took a Diaclone driver. I think he's from that when they actually had drivers. Doesn't serve any purpose here in terms of being a transformer because they didn't give us drivers, but yeah, here he is, and boy, he's in pretty good shape. Really curious transformation, how everything comes together and or doesn't entirely come together. But yeah, there he is, Trailbreaker. His stickers are pretty good. I mean, the guy who owned him really took care of him, and it was nice. It was nice finding a piece that didn't receive too much wear, was in good shape, and wasn't a reissue. So. And there he is next to the Earthrise version. Obviously, you know, referencing the original. Even the transformation was very similar in a lot of ways. But yeah, they have, instead of the red original visor, this is definitely more cartoon accurate. I mean, you can see. This was a nice, nice mold overall. They did hoist. They also did a lift ticket in selects, I think, for him. And here he is next to New Age's Bodhi, which is actually homaging him. Bring in Fracture again. Just for the heck of it, here is a Kenner Knight Rider Michael Knight. I think he's 5.5 inches. He's not quite 6-inch scale, but there you go. And for kicks, here's Trailbreaker next to his not quite modern mold. Predecessor to this guy is this mold. Not Trailbreaker, but Lift Ticket. This was fun. More of a fun transformation than I expected. I really like this figure, and I'm glad I got the Hoist and the Trailbreaker in these colors. I'll have to unbox them someday. But for now, ta-da! So yeah, this was just a fun little trip down memory lane, sort of. Definitely, I liked Trailbreaker back in the day. I didn't own one. I'm glad I picked one up. And for these movie figures here, there were so many non-movie characters that they did in the movie line, quote unquote. Now this was a figure that they repurposed, right? But there's Breakaway, there's Space Case, and I forget the original mold for Space Case, but there's so many movie characters that they did around 2007, 2008, going on from there, that are great figures. And they have nothing to do with the movies other than that they came out when the movies were coming out. So this was a fun pickup. They're even better figures than him. Fracture, obviously RID 2015, I enjoyed after watching Prime. And I really liked the character designs on a lot of those villains in there. And the heroes, but mostly the villains. They brought in Optimus Prime toward the, was it second season, third season? Just to be like, oh look, we have Optimus Prime. RID 2015 is a kind of a mixed bag, but some great designs, and obviously you have Snowcat back here, which is great. So yeah, just a quick assortment of pickups I did. So this is a various and sundry. I'd say Trailbreaker comes close to getting the touch rating because he's G1 and he's got a tremendous amount of charm to him. But is he a great figure by today's standards? No, I mean, you're getting better articulation and a little more play value in more modern stuff. So, yeah, I hope you had fun seeing some figures of various eras that maybe you haven't seen before. But yeah, if you enjoyed anything in the video, definitely give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'll do my next video will be more newer figures. I'm going to bring out some Transformers the movie stuff. Kind of do a big combined session of a few different figures for that. So yeah, so from Trailbreaker and Lift Ticket, Snowcat, Fracture, Hardtop, Bodhi, and the one man who can make a difference, Michael Knight. To everyone out there, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time.